Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity, a show about weirdos. With your hosts, John Fahey, Aaron Peter, and Matt Brousseau.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity. It's a show about weirdos, doggone it. My name is John Fahey. Joining me as ever, prettiest boy under the sun, impeccably attractive, hypervert, high-functioning pervert. I believe you're 3 children in a trench coat, all of them shredded with huge cocks.
That's right.
Is that true?
That is, the rumors about my existence have been not exaggerated at all.
Yeah.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah, you are...
Three children.
3 children. Each of them shredded.
Each one.
Ripped.
Uh-huh.
To shreds.
Yeah, and huge
big
huge
dicks.
cocks.
Wow.
Veins.
That's how they hold on to each other.
That's exactly right.
Like this.
Yeah, it's a fire hose system.
It's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's a
Fire
it's a
pole,
daisy
fire
chain.
hose?
To fire, well, depends on what's going on. Pull the hose in 5 seconds.
I'm also sick. I'm also incest.
Or hose to pull, rather. Aaron Joseph Peter, hello.
Hi. To my right,
My left.
your left, is another...
Good-looking son of a bitch.
Yeah. But he has 3 giant cocks, all with their 6-pack abs in a parka.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you write that one today?
Just made it up right now.
Yeah, I'm like a rat king of testicles and fur
Poncho.
coat.
Yeah.
You're a nut rat king.
I am.
I'm Matt Brousseau.
Hello, Matt Brousseau. We had a lot of fun last time on the program.
We did. We did. It was a media episode.
Yes, it was.
And
Somebody demanded a T-shirt.
oh yeah,
Do you remember? I told you it was. Joe K hit me up today. Just wrote me, "I'm nuttin'."
that's right. Former guest of the program.
That was really fun.
I'm not. No, I'm a nut.
And then somebody said we need one of the
McGruff the crime dog.
doing inhaling ants.
Inhale ants. And then in the background is Ozzy and Jessica Simpson or something.
Beautiful.
And then on the back of the shirt is Whitney, Wisconsin, like, give me some of that. I'll suck your cock.
She's running towards him.
I'll suck your dog cock.
This dog's all hopped up on ants. He's probably suggestible.
Who do you think put the ants there?
Oh God. You really kind of slam dunked it, dude. At the end,
I don't remember.
Oh,
that
with the
ever-
conspiracy theory
yeah,
chat,
yeah,
which we
tied
will
it
put
all
on the
together.
Instagram.
slick is no
Yeah.
joke. That was just absolutely amazing.
Well, hell yes, I do it all the time.
I want to tell you guys a story. This is like a really this just caught my imagination. And before I go on, PP Podcast on Twitter, Profiles and Eccentricity on Instagram. And subscribe to the Patreon. Last time we had Kevin Anderson on. I thought this was funny. We talked about a bunch of dumb stories.
You have a jukebox coming out this weekend?
Jukebox. Aaron Explains It All. Endgame coming up.
That's right.
Ooh.
God, I gotta watch it for the 8th
Very,
time.
very exciting.
I'm going to do another Connections in a week or two.
That's very, very
I
exciting.
love to connect the
know.
dots.
And I think after this episode, we might talk about pornos or something.
I think we're gonna do a Patreon of porno
Pornos.
after this or something, like a Red Light District type of episode or something.
This is a little red lighty.
No.
A little red flaggy.
You know how I feel about red flags.
It's actually really not. There's this guy that my friend Rachel Kaufman got me hip to his story, and I was just instantly fucking in love with it. And
Fantastic.
I got the documentary and watched it immediately. I got the audiobook. I got Audible to get this audiobook.
Shout out audible.com. Keyword profiles, get your first 3 months of Audible.
That is not true.
Could be.
This,
Avengers Endgame on Blu-ray. DVD.
Yeah.
Streaming out.
See it in Blu-ray. This guy, he goes to war, 1942.
Is he American?
American.
So he goes into World War II?
Yeah, and he sees like drastic amounts of battle. He's at the Battle of Iwo Jima. He loses his brother there.
Pacific Theater.
And he comes home and, rather than kind of go back to the thing, he shows up here. He comes to Hollywood. And he, instantly gets a job at a gas station right on the corner of Van Ness and Hollywood Boulevard.
I know exactly where that is.
And along comes, almost immediately, first day of work. This is 1946.
Okay.
Hollywood, baby. It's Hollywood, And along comes Walter Pidgeon, a famous actor of the time. I've got a little...
And what is the gentleman that you're speaking about now? Do we get to know his name?
Yes, his name is Scotty Bowers.
Scotty Bowers.
Yes.
Okay.
And he's just an extremely good-looking young man, fresh from war, and he
$1 million smile, 1,000-yard stare.
he's never really showing any type of PTSD, and always just kind of in a good mood. He really is extremely handsome. And so Walter Pidgeon shows up, and he's kind of, what's a pretty young thing like you doing in a place like this? And he's like, why don't you come back to my house and
pump my gas,
hang out in the pool? And
being a pool boy,
he's like, I got in his car and I fucking went to his house. This is a little clip of Walter Pidgeon I lined up for one of his movies back in the day.
But I'm not through talking yet. I don't think you're the kind of a girl who'd do a mean trick on a man by marrying him and you belong by rights to somebody else. Wait. When you showed up at my window this afternoon, my mind was miles away from...
Thinking about that boy from the gas station.
When you shoved that check
My mind was miles away from girls. I just had to throw that in.
Yeah, I bet it was.
So it's this guy, through this gas station and this one encounter immediately with a famous person, he's just kind of he's bi, he's whatever, and he starts... Scotty is, and he's they're well, what was Walter Pidgeon into? And he's sucking cock. He wanted to suck cock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So mouth to mouth.
Right, but also, I think Scotty...
And when you're in the trenches, a mouth is a mouth.
Yeah.
Scotty was fully bi, I believe. Just... But back then there wasn't terms for everything, and everybody was just I just have a good time.
Yeah.
And Hollywood was extremely
good time
different, and Scotty kind of ends up getting a bunch of guys that are also former war dudes, and he gets them hanging around the gas station. And he's guys, famous people would come in and be like, hey,
I hear this is the gas station where you suck on vets' cocks.
Yeah.
How much to fill?
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
How much to fill me up?
Yeah, and
I'll take a premium.
So
service.
Scotty's listen,
I'll wash your windows too.
The guys who come up and be like, that's your friend over there. He's a good looking dude. I'd like to take him to dinner. And Scotty's like, well, why don't you just give him $20 and suck his cock and forget about the dinner?
The American dream is alive.
The vets would be friends and I'm not a gay dude or whatever, and you'd be like, well, just pretend it's a girl and let him suck your cock and get $20. $20 is $20.
Back then, $20 is $150.
Yeah. Well, right. So these guys, suddenly they got pretty easy at forgetting that these were dudes, and they went back again and again, and so Scotty is really making this gas station.
It's humming.
It's a full. He's got a trailer in the back. He puts 2 king size beds in there, and now it becomes a thing where you can go and you can hook up and
fill up, get drained.
He comes into contact with this guy named George Cukor, who was pretty openly homosexual back then. And he was kind of a little bit of a gatekeeper to gay Hollywood. And then he was just Scotty's okay. And if you're gay, Scotty can get you guys. Right? And Scotty he's got this gas station, and there's stuff going on in the bathroom. There's stuff going on in the trailer. It's divided by a curtain, 2 beds. And people are just going there and fucking. And it's it's extramarital stuff. It is, gay stuff, mainly gay men stuff. But then it's also some lesbian stuff, because they're everybody's, it's not illegal to be gay. you can't be gay in Hollywood at this time. And
it's just career ending.
Or anywhere.
Illegal.
Well, you know, there's like sodomy laws. The Vice Squad would go to a gay bar and be like, I gotta arrest 8 of you just for being here.
Yeah.
It was pretty much illegal.
Okay.
And they would get beat up and they would get named. And, you know, I think when it was like, you know, turn of the talkie time in Hollywood, it was a little more open that Hollywood was kind of a swinging good time.
Right.
But then in the 30s, Hollywood realized like, oh, fuck, most of our audience is like middle America. We got to act like we're them, even though we're not.
Right. We're better.
So we got to act like, you know, everything's cool and not everybody's a freak. So the studios didn't ever really care. They only cared about your image. Right. And if you fucked that up, that's on you, man. That was kind of how they viewed it. They didn't give a shit what anybody did. A lot of these people were pretty open about it over here. But then until you kind of couldn't be. And then they kind of, you know, had these fake marriages and stuff like that. But Scotty was running this thing where everybody could meet in secret and, you know, go and you know, you can go to somebody's home. You're not in a park looking for a cock to suck. You know what I mean? You're you know, and at least it's not as if it's just like, you know, people are looking for love too. Like this is like an underground, you know, it's grinder through a gas station, you know? And this guy, he's got...
Because Grindr is people looking for love, too.
I mean, it can be, you know.
Sure.
It's not always.
No.
Of course. Or mostly even.
Right.
But it can be.
Sure.
So, Scotty is just kind of like, yeah, it's all good, baby. You know what I mean? Like, it's good times. And he doesn't take any money. He's just kind of helping everybody out. And it's so... there's so much gratitude being thrown at him from these wealthy and kind of elite people that they can, you know, have these channels to work out, you know, their real lives that they just give him shit. So he never, like, he's got guys, like, straight up pretty much turning tricks. And some of them are alive in the documentary, like, to this day. And they're like, yeah, Scotty never took my money. He's like, I've been pimped out by dudes. Scotty wasn't a pimp.
All right.
And, you know, when you see Scotty talked about in the media, like one of the first words they usually say is pimp, and he never was.
Right.
Yeah, they do that with a lot of, like, the DC Madam. It's like...
Yeah.
You know, everybody kind of knew what they were getting into.
Right, but Scotty was...
The facilitator.
Yeah.
Scotty, but there was no percentage, there was nothing.
You probably got a few blowies.
But he really just kind of... He just liked the hustle, you know, and...
Every trend needs that, though. There's like a study of trends. There's a guy who sets the trend, but it's the people who connect the trendsetter with everybody else that actually makes it, you know, spread.
And outliers.
Yeah.
Or tipping point.
Tipping point. That's it.
Well, you find so much in the documentary that Scotty's personality is really genuinely about trying to make people happy, and he's kind of consumed by it, and he basically admits that he thinks it's a coping mechanism from dealing with the war and losing like 2 very close friends at Iwo Jima and his brother. It's the only time you see him cry in the entire thing is like when he talks about, you know, they had the buddy system in the thing back then. You got your guy in the foxhole and, you know, they show him these pictures of people during the war and like, you know, without it being like a sexual thing at all. Just like one guy crying in another guy's arms. Right. And like how close you were with your foxhole buddy, and then you know those guys losing those guys.
Yeah,
you know,
either to death or you know they get sent back home and you never see him again.
Right? Yeah. Well, in this case, this guy went from like 3 pretty like epic battlefields to another like back to back. He had 4 months of like really hardcore combat exposure and. When you see him, you're like, I can't believe this guy is as well put together as he is.
Well, because he's covering himself up. He's built a...
He certainly is.
Yeah.
He certainly
is. And
is.
he's so hot.
Yeah, and he is fucking all the time, right?
When he gets back?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's probably, you know...
That's also his coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know.
He, So, like, there's all these people in set design and costuming, all these people that are gay that don't have these outlets. So he's, like, making all those connections and setting up with people. And no matter how many names I'm going to drop, that he finally writes a book, like, in 2012 and drops everything.
Fantastic.
Before that, even though he knows everybody in town and he knows everybody in general, if you're going to him for something, he's not telling anybody. He's like secretive to a T. It's it doesn't matter how good of the gossip is. He just wouldn't fucking do it. And it was what made everybody trust him. Like it got to, to the royal family, to that level where they were acting out homosexual adventures.
Royals?
Yeah.
Sexual impropriety?
Yeah, and they were trusting Scotty.
I don't believe it.
And people wrote about him in books when Scotty was like a mythical figure for a while before he came out and admitted it. People were like, there was supposed to be this guy in Hollywood that could get you all these dudes, and nobody knew who he was. And
check it out, and he's at a petrol station.
Yeah, what was it? Shell? What was it? There's got to be a...
Yeah, so he's got this gas station over on Van Ness in Hollywood. There's 20 guys hanging around. There's a trailer in the back. You can fuck in the bathroom. This thing's doing business all day long. And
not a drop of gas sold.
No. And you could also go in and he did a peephole thing into the bathroom.
Now we're talking.
So you could watch. And that was very popular too.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
All of this shit was, was so fucking buried, like the early what the early S&M shit was like. It was like a fucking you and a bunch of people in a basement admitting that you like tying each other up and
it must have been you
so
have to be
much
diehard.
shame. Yeah,
you're diehard, and then that, because of the shame and the secrecy, it's even grittier. And
that's a rush too.
Absolutely. Now fucking S&M, there's S&M clubs by the airport and shit. It's just like, whatever.
Yeah,
rules with your rules.
Yeah,
these people are doing it underneath an oil pan.
Yeah,
in a garage.
Dave, this is your third time getting gas today.
Mileage is bad. It's the 40s.
So basically, it would be like $20 to suck a cock at the gas station. And there was
what if you have no money?
Well, that's not really going to work, if you have no money, you need to start sucking a cock. You'll probably get $20 really quick.
It's like Henry Ford paying his workers enough money to buy a car.
Then the motel across the street, he starts renting those rooms out $5 directly across the street, Hollywood Boulevard. So he's got that going.
Now before. Just so I can get a picture in my mind. Hollywood and Van Ness. Is there a gas station still there?
No, it's a fire station.
Oh, hey, that's hot too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hose or pull. Either way. So,
let's go back to the station house.
So he wouldn't he wouldn't do this before he was 90 years old. He wouldn't drop anything, and he's 91, so maybe 85 he writes the book, because then he's just like, everybody's dead. And there was a lot of blowback and people being like, first of all, this isn't real, and people like the people that tricked, and a lot of other famous people that are still living come out and they're like, oh, this is all facts, like this is all true.
Good.
And
he's a goddamn war hero.
And people were like, well, why would you out these people and stuff like that? And he's just like, well, when are we going to admit that this isn't weird?
Yeah.
Like, when are we... Like,
you made us make it weird.
Yeah. You made us have sham marriages, and...
You made us have a trailer at a gas station when we could have been doing it, in our homes.
Right, exactly.
He's outing you. He's not outing them. He's outing you for being uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's just like, what's wrong with that? And, and he comes at it from this place where he's, like, just completely unashamed and unembarrassed. And basically always has been. There's some, kind of like 16mm footage of him in the 60s where he's just like at a fucking orgy party and he's jacking off, and then you see some dude suck him off and stuff.
Oh, is it nice?
It's great, dude.
I support our troops. Sorry.
But I mean, that's part of the thing I wanted to talk about with you guys too, is just like, I mean, imagine coming home and being like, I gotta hide what I want to do. I fucking fought at Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
What the fuck did you ever do?
Exactly. Yeah, and you see how fragile life can end at any moment. It's all a fucking chaotic mess that's hanging on by a thread.
Yeah,
I'm coming home. I'm fucking nutting. I'm nutting. That's what I'm doing. Because it could all go like that.
Yeah. And more than that, like, he just wants to make everyone happy.
Yeah.
And this was the opportunity to do that too. I mean, how afraid are you once you've been to Iwo Jima to spend a night in the can, for setting up, a $20 blowjob.
Yeah, we're gonna put me in a room with more dudes.
But the thing is that it is he after like 10 years that he kind of gets out of it and starts being like the guy catering the parties and stuff because something can only last so long. But it never really gets busted. There is a beat cop in the area that was luckily. And my friend Rachel told me about this, and I just loved it right away. And then I fucking I listened to the book and whatever. But
he liked to get his dick sucked.
No, he was just the dumbest fuck alive and had no idea what was going on. He was just totally
This is a real place in gas station.
Yeah. How come the guys don't wear shirts? And, oh, okay, it's hot out, I guess.
And nobody's filling up their tanks, so they must have an electric car.
And and he's just around all the time. And the one time the Vice Squad finally pulls up and they're just like, what the fuck is going on here, man? Because they, they got an eye out for that shit. And, you're going through the Red Scare. You're going through, the Hollywood purges and stuff. And, gay and communists were like interchangeable to those people. Right. And, so things like the Vice Squad were, really on roids and stuff. And they show up one day and Scotty's there and they're like, what's with all the fucking shit going on? Why is he so busy? What the fuck is going on at this gas station? And he's like, I don't know, it's just busy, and some people hang around, and he's like, that's this capo, he's around here all the time. And they go over to him, and he's just like, oh yeah, it's just cool hangout,
Everybody's so nice.
Good time, everybody's in a good mood, like.
They're playing Mr.
And meanwhile,
Sandman.
there's people like coming in the trailer at that moment.
That guy's taking a big shit right now.
Super hard. Somebody's watching somebody taking a shit in the bathroom while they get blown.
Any laws against that? Officer?
Yeah. So
shitting out this guy's dick. And balls.
So stupid.
Fuck you.
Should know the guy's dick. And balls. What? So fucking dumb. So fucking stupid.
You love it. You love it. Matt loves it. Everyone loves it.
Out of sight. Touche. Q-Core kind of gives him the pass, and then it's like the thing where you're around, all of the gay celebrities and stuff. So one of the guys hustling for him, Lee Shook, he confirms everything. He's got guys going to Charles Lawton all the time, and he's like Charles Lawton just loves sucking guys off. Loved it.
That's nice.
And Cary Grant, he was famous for living with his roommate Randolph Scott. And they would have magazine interviews about the two bachelors that lived together.
Yeah. Most eligible bachelors.
So dumb,
I think Cary Grant did a lot of acid, too.
Yes, he is famous. Kind of infamous for his therapist LSD trips. And then he almost had a whole article about him printed that his management had to cut.
Yep.
Because
he
listen, you can suck your boyfriend's dick all you want, but you start talking about LSD, people are gonna think you're crazy.
So he was doing stuff with Betty Davis. He had J. Edgar Hoover come through and set him up with stuff. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, he had
now this is how you run an operation.
Right.
Then he called what he called like kind of his heavy hitters.
Ooh.
Were the guys that were just send one cock after another. He was like Tom Ewell, Ramon Navarro, and Cole Porter. He's like Cole Porter would suck like 20 guys off in a row. He just could never stop sucking cock.
Just line them up? What?
He absolutely loved it.
Wow.
He's just gimme. Like he just loved it.
Great.
That's where the Ramones got it from.
He's doing stuff with Laurence Olivier and Rock Hudson, of course.
Of course.
Cary Grant. Vivian Lee is around. William Holden. He's got the 1965
The whole Mets.
The orgy thing that I told you about, that was also with like a secret drag show. Can you imagine doing a drag show back then?
Oh man.
That was like another thing they have on film, you know. So like all these things are like that are wholly regular now, are happening in like hyper secret.
Yeah.
And he was kind of around for all of it, and just like, I mean, you know, imagine just like how much that would affect, you know, your sense of right and wrong, and being told that these things are so wrong, when you're like, fucking, who gives a shit?
That's always been the case with this shit, though.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, this is you're gonna fucking you masturbate, these terrible things are gonna happen to you, and you're like, no, I just feel great, and then everything's
and then
normal.
you start doubting everything else they tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if that's not true,
Yeah,
Maybe I am a communist.
He's
communist.
So he's got, you know, stuff going on with the Royals, like I said.
Kansas City.
No, though, with the king and that abdicated and his wife.
Oh, really?
They would get.
They heard about this little old gas station on the corner of Hollywood and Van Ness.
Was it Princess Grace Kelly?
Well, no,
Princess Grace?
they would.
God,
they,
no.
They would set up. They had this.
Princess Monaco.
They had this this bungalow set up where it was like easily, you know, you could get in and out, have visitors come without it being seen.
Right.
And it would be like girls for her, guys for him. And they loved him. They were so grateful to Scotty. He was just like, they were great. And he's like, she was kind of running the show. She'd be like, all right, now you're going to suck his cock. And then I'm going to do like, and telling like everybody what to do. And he was just kind of like a shy dude.
Monarchs.
You know? But then he would be getting women for Katherine Hepburn. And Katherine Hepburn had you know, one of the most famous sham marriages to Spencer Tracy, right? And Spencer Tracy would hook up with Scotty himself, but he would get like blackout hammered, and then they would go to bed, have sex, and in the morning Spencer Tracy would be like, "Oh man, I must have got really drunk last night. It was so nice of you to stay."
Right. Good thing I'm not gay.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I mean,
go back to my wife.
that deeply, like, you know, just not willing to confront it. But like, it's a routine.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, you slept over again?
Yeah.
Ah, my balls are. There's no piss left?
Yeah.
There's no pee in my balls.
Yeah.
Katherine Hepburn was with Howard Hughes too, right?
Noted normal person.
Noted, well-adjusted.
I don't know. Check that out, because I don't. Would that be right? If she was, if she
But
was,
she's paying Scotty to fuck. You know, it doesn't matter. They're all doing it.
So he gets a hold of Kinsey.
Oh, Alfred Kinsey.
Yeah.
Right.
Albert
Kinsey.
Albert
Yeah,
Kinsey?
The Kinsey scale.
And he starts taking him to like orgies, introducing him to a lot of prostitutes. And he's like, I would have him at a fucking huge fuck party, and he would be watching, and I would go over and grab his cock to see if it was hard.
Who?
And he's like, Kinsey, are you liking this? And he's like, just here to observe.
He is a scientist after all.
Yeah.
And you're right, Howard Hughes was with Katherine Hepburn.
Yeah. Oh, really? Wow. Director John Schlesinger is one of the people that backed him up. The partner of actor Raymond Burr backed him up. Gore Vidal, one of his last public appearances was the book launch in 2012 for Scotty's book.
No shit.
Yeah, where he came out and was just like, yeah, this shit's all right on.
I love Gore Vidal.
Yeah, and you know, think about what Gore Vidal was doing back then. He was writing about trans shit, and like, you know, he was super out there and very much maybe the only staunch defender of super bohemian, you know, debauched.
Right, even though he himself was, you know, old country, old American aristocratic.
Yes.
I mean, total libertine himself, but like never talked about it.
I mean, he did. I mean, Myra Breckenridge and stuff like that. He brings out some stuff
never
about himself.
autobiographically,
Right? Yeah. 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 Pretty much.
He's the best.
He was an observer. Yeah. Wink.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
He was the best. Ooh, fuck.
So yeah, he's there's a magazine going around that's kind of like the Inquirer of the time called Confidential Magazine. And they would be the ones that could get a story verified about you doing quote-unquote nefarious activities and, you know, scuttle your career. I mean, fuck you over big time. And they would come to Scotty quite a bit with stuff and be like, can you verify this? And of course, Scotty could. He was the one that set it up.
Yeah.
And they would they would be offering $1,000 in that time's money, which is like pretty severe.
So that's the golden goose story.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it all ends once.
Yeah, you can pay $20 to suck my friend, but I will not take $1,000 to fuck him.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, pal.
Yeah. And
Move on.
he
You get $20.
he was asked about his own little three-way with fucking Eva Gardner and Lana Turner at Frank Sinatra's house.
Oh my God.
He had sex with both of them.
What is this, a fantasy league of orgies?
It's just totally out of hand. He was a really
Amazing.
good-looking guy. I mean,
And he was a war hero.
Yeah.
An
yeah, and
entrepreneur.
he's just really nice. He's just really fucking fun and cool, you know?
I know the feeling.
How is Ava these days?
Well, you know me. Fuck. And, you know, while they're doing the documentary, you know, he's a 91-year-old man or whatever in 2017. He's still living here in Hollywood.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations, Scotty.
Did try to contact him to potentially get him on the show.
Really?
Yeah, but he's, 96. I don't know how easy it's going to be.
Yeah.
But we're working on it.
Oh, great.
We are working on it.
Yeah.
I got $20.
Yeah. And
That's all it takes to get him in.
he's kind of like a hoarder. He's got a lot of shit, but then he busts out these pictures, and some of them is like, fucking naked dudes and shit. And then, but he's got like 3 fucking houses that were just given to him by men that loved him.
Yeah.
This guy, Beach Dickerson, left him like 3 different houses.
Beach Dickerson.
Yeah.
The currency is kindness.
Yeah.
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 Cock.
Yeah. And he had a place on St. Andrew's place that he bought for like $22,000 way back when.
Oof.
Cash
Yeah.
just from hustling.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that? That's 11,000 blowjobs?
Oh man.
And he's
I don't know if the math is right. 1,000 blowjobs.
1,100 blowjobs.
and he's going around and like he's
1,100, yeah.
he's got a wife, and I think it's his 3rd wife, and she doesn't know everything until the book comes out. And then she's kind of like, holy shit. And she won't read it, but she gets the gist.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably a good husband.
She's like, I love him. She's like, this hoarding shit is kind of nonsense, and he's basically putting me in danger because I'm so old and I could trip and fall over some of this shit. But she's like, I love him.
Yeah.
And he's still like getting on the roof and fixing stuff, and he's going and buying cat food, and like he feeds the skunks outside his house, and
What?
but he also steals a bunch of cans too, and like he's like they cost like $149. He's like, that's ridiculous. He's like, I put a couple in my pocket and just leave,
I'm a goddamn veteran.
and
I mean, not just for this country. He's a veteran of the sex scene in Hollywood.
That's right.
well, that's the thing. Yeah, he is like
I fought for everybody.
this guy that he was asked in years previously when he would be giving information to other biographers and people doing journalism, he would speak, and people would be like, you got to tell your fucking story, and he'd be like, nah, still too many of them are alive. And he really didn't tell his story until he thought pretty much everybody's dead.
No shit.
Loose lips.
Yeah, but also it was, and people were like, well, some of their kids are still alive. And he's like, well, fucking deal with it. Again, when are we going to normalize this shit? When are we going to, what was weird was when Rock Hudson married a lady.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Oh, is it weird that your dad was gay? Well, you're here.
Yeah.
So,
get a grip.
yeah.
Wasn't that gay?
Exactly.
Back then, everything was gay.
Rock Hudson was gay.
Yeah. He's got with his first wife, he's kind of just gone all the time. He's hustling. He has a daughter. She grows up, and she goes to college, and then she fucking randomly dies at 23, having an abortion.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
And he's like, I was on my way to Malibu with a car full of guys to, party.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't even stop. He's like, I just kept going.
Yeah, well, I mean, at that point, he's already
Well, how did he get a
compartmentalized.
cell phone call? Like, what do you...
He was just like, that I found out, and I was already, and he's like,
PCH is a nightmare to make you turn on,
yeah,
dude.
that's true.
Well, I mean, it just goes so much to show you how much he's doing this to escape
Yeah,
trauma.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I totally believe that,
Yeah.
knowing nothing about him,
Yeah.
but it's also a convenient excuse.
That's true, yeah. That's right.
You could also say that you're balls deep in the lifestyle and the partying and the, it's real easy to say that it's the trauma and the escape of the trauma.
Right, but also, I mean,
it probably is. And it probably is.
I mean, he does have nightmares about bombs at night.
Yes.
We are talking about a different level.
Yes.
And and the thing is that most of when he talks about,
and the fact that he's admitting it says a lot.
when he talks about his childhood, for instance, right? He grows up on a farm in Illinois. This is before the war, right? And he's got his brother and he's got his sister and I think he's got his mom. I don't know if his dad's around, but he doesn't really talk about him. But he's like, I would have the priests dropping change to get tricks out of me when I was like younger than 11. He's like, and I was just known. And he's like, when I was hustling in the town, I was a child, and he was turning tricks.
He was tricking as a kid.
Tricking as a kid. And
he's fun fact. He's one of the ripped children in my trench coat.
Yeah, one of the things somebody says about him, he's like when Scotty came out to Hollywood, he just had a good attitude and a big dick.
It'll get you so far in this industry.
Yeah, and
God willing.
but this is one of the parts where
I'm praying for you.
The documentarian is clearly like, okay, well, what the fuck here? Like, what do you? He's like, well, people would say you're abused, and he's like, no, he's like, I don't fucking buy that shit. He's like, anything I did, and he's like, and it was my choice. He's like, and it's an uncomfortable thing, but that's him saying like, no, I knew what I was doing and I chose to do it, and I mean, I kind of got to give it up for him.
Yeah, you got to give it up to him.
But
is that another coping mechanism?
Right.
Is it? But at the very least,
but I mean, that's before the war.
It sounds like at the very least, it sounds like he's willing to put him, because I don't know, you're gonna let it destroy yourself, or are you gonna spin your own thing so you can live with it?
Well, I mean, but then he's it's not even just the priest. It's just like he's a kid tricking downtown, and hustling, and he's like, again, just shutting his fucking mouth. Mm-hmm. He's like, my brother didn't know.
Well, not all the time.
My sister didn't know.
Selectively opening it.
My mom didn't know. He's like, everybody thought I was just downtown selling papers. And he's like, and I was, just fucking, he's like, I
He did a Reddit AMA.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a good looking dude.
He is. He's a great looking guy.
Very good looking gentleman.
And like, I just think that part about it is like, he does take responsibility for everything pretty much, even when it comes to,
generational thing too, like not very much a non-victim mentality of those gentlemen and ladies.
Yeah, don't let yourself become. Yeah.
Whether, I mean, because I don't think anybody should be held responsible for decisions that they make when they're 10 or 11, or consider that they're
But what if somebody says no? I am me.
Yeah.
Those were my decisions. Society can't. There's no part of society where you're allowed to go, well, if he's a kid and he wants to fuck, man, it's fine. But I'm saying it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. But
I mean, it is, but it's not. Nobody wants that to be okay.
Well, it's not his. I mean, you can still blame all the fucking adults for fucking him.
Of course, but he was just like, it's not abuse. He's like, yeah, I.
No, it's you can be taken advantage of, and you can.
Well, he was like, where's the money?
It's still not enough, dude. Quarters, nickels, dimes.
Back then?
Yeah,
what a newspaper
if you got that sweet Scotty Bowers dick I hear so much about, pass around the plate, Padre.
Maybe you're paying.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah, I mean, it's that was like the one part where I was like, holy shit, and he's just like, no, fuck all that. He's like, fuck all that abuse shit. He's like, no. He's like, everything I've done was my decision. Totally knew what I was doing.
Yeah. It's fine.
And it's I was just like, holy fucking shit, and I don't even think the filmmakers know where to go next with that,
Yeah, well, because you want to say that's fine, but it also doesn't feel like you should say that's fine.
No. Right. I mean, the only thing I take away from it, it's not fine, but the only thing I take away from it is
it's badass.
It's very badass.
Right.
It's very brave.
I mean, those priests, my bitch.
Yeah.
They sucked my cock.
Exactly, yeah. I was the one.
Yeah, if he's getting his cock sucked, I mean, it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Than sucking a priest dick.
And that, you're like, okay, I'm glad he I'm glad
he's taking ownership of it.
Yeah, but also, of course, there's no way it's ever gonna feel.
But that's what
right
I'm saying. In
priest.
light of the stuff with the daughter and everything, I mean, he does admit it. I mean, he's the one that's saying, I went there, I didn't show up. He's like, I never stopped moving. He never like shirks responsibility at all.
Yeah.
And he's I mean, he's just got that, thing, I think, where you think you see all these people die in front of you, and then you go like, I know what's right and wrong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's
what was weird is when my friends were getting blown up. It's not weird, this guy in a dress over here.
Yeah.
No one. It's a different level of death or pain or whatever.
His bar for absurdity is, definitely higher.
Yes.
I saw, fire and hellscape. I saw fire and brimstone raining from the sky and body parts splaying all over my face.
Yeah.
Take a shot in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll let someone blow me.
Yeah.
But also, I think he's just straight up into sex with men at all.
Which is
You
great.
know what I mean?
Good for him.
They don't get pregnant.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or have abortions and die.
Right.
Yeah.
He goes, and then, he sees, like, AIDS come in and everything, and he's like, I fucking, a lot of people I knew died, And, the really big one you got to think about that stretches all the way to Reagan is Rock Hudson.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Rock Hudson's the one where it was like, and they say that's where, like, your mind gets really changed is when it's somebody that you actually know.
Yeah, well, not if you're Reagan.
That's why.
Right.
But his son, Ronald Reagan Jr., who I believe is gay, was like, that's when I could see it hit my dad, like, this is a fucking guy I know. Like, he still never said it, the word AIDS or whatever, but he was like, that was where I could see it, really dawn on him that this wasn't some otherly shit. This was a guy I know, popular guy everybody liked, and Rock Hudson, was like, he was almost...
He was a paragon of manliness.
His name is Rock Hudson.
Incredibly good-looking man.
Yeah.
I mean, ridiculous. All these guys, Cary Grant, fucking, like, everybody looked amazing.
Elton John, Freddie Mercury, those, handsome hot guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Confidential magazine was fucking chasing people around and kind of like doing like the Vice Squad's job.
Yeah.
But just for gossip. And so people would dig around on like Rock Hudson and stuff like that. And then it was like, basically he was told like through the media, like, people are going to start wondering why you're still a bachelor if you don't get married soon. And then he got married within a couple of months to his secretary that was a lesbian.
Yeah.
And, or his booking agent or something like that. She worked for him in some kind of regard. But like, there was shit like that going down and everybody's playing along with this ridiculous shit, And everybody that lives in Hollywood knows Rock Hudson's fucking gay.
Yeah.
It's just, again, for middle America.
Yeah.
But
that's a lot of people. That's most people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really just mind-blowing. The whole thing is like, I mean, obviously it started coming down after that. People started, the 80s and 90s happened and stuff, but everybody still wanted to remember Hollywood the way they wanted to remember it, and that's why there was all this anger at Scotty that he was like shattering these illusions about these stars.
But when did he write that book?
2012.
And there's anger now. I mean, that's 8 years ago, right? So like, was there anger even in 2012?
Yeah, people were kind of like, they didn't like hearing it. They didn't like hearing it.
Suck a dick.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah. It's and then people, I think, were kind of masking it as, well, you shouldn't out these people, and it's like,
they're dead.
Well, what do you care?
Yeah.
What do you lose?
Why are we hiding reality? Who's this for? What's the point of demanding that this stuff is never known?
Yeah.
For what? So we never have to deal with it? So we never have to pretend that this is fucking normal shit?
Yeah. And also, I mean, how about this? How about you make a bunch of queer kids feel normal by telling them that a bunch of icons were gay?
Yeah.
Or bi. Or like whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not a big deal.
Again, like there was like a lot of people that were just like, I don't have a word. I just party.
I just do it.
Like...
Which I think is the best.
Yeah.
It really is.
Right? You don't have to fucking make a 16-letter, nomenclature acronym for just like, do you party or?
Yeah. Do you enjoy having sex with people?
Yeah.
Great. Is it consensual and safe?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Safe?
Well, not always safe.
I said anything about safe.
Don't be a square, man.
Yeah, LGBTQ plus square. Fuck the square.
So there's 3 houses left to him, which of course soar in value. Beach Dickerson was the godfather of this actor on L.A. Law. So after Scotty dies,
Which was Scotty's nickname.
after Scotty dies, this stuff goes to him. It's like, he just kind of got all this stuff, and he's got all these like really like amazingly expensive properties, and they're just full of shit from the past.
Yeah.
The documentarian came about him that came out in 2017, and that's Scotty Bowers and the Secret History of Hollywood.
Okay, yeah.
Highly recommended.
And where did you see it?
On Canopy.
Canopy.
Canopy is an app where it streams a lot of documentaries and stuff.
Oh. Check it out, streaming on Canopy.
Yeah, and the book on Audible is full service.
Yeah, of course. Unleaded.
Well, back then there was lead in everything.
That's right. Put some lead in your pencil.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That was their defense. It was all the lead in the air. I'm not gay. You suck a cock.
Huh?
Money. So yeah, he's he's still in the neighborhood, and he's.
Oh, we gotta hang out with this guy.
We do, right? Isn't he the coolest?
Yeah, we'll bring him some fucking Shasta.
Yeah, and he talks like in this really funny way, where there's no nonsenseness about him. Where he's like, he talks about,
and he's one of the last World War II guys alive.
Yeah,
all those fucking guys, those ladies and gentlemen are dying.
Yeah, and he talks about. There's one little aside where he goes, yeah, it reminds me of, he's like, what happened on the fucking ships? He goes, you think all these guys were buried? No, you throw them overboard like fucking garbage.
Yeah.
It's like just bodies being thrown overboard.
Yeah. There's no time.
Just how it was.
Yeah. And you can talk to him about how much you hate Japs.
I don't hate Japs. I don't hate Japs.
You calling them Japs, John?
You just said it.
That's because that's the word you use.
What? I don't understand.
I call them Japanese Americans. Actually, I call them Americans.
Well,
even Japanese people.
Well, yeah.
Even the ones in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can commiserate over that.
These fucking Japs, am I right? Scotty.
How their cocks taste? Is it like raw men?
Oh, God.
Wow.
Raw men?
Yeah.
Is that the joke you just fucking...
Yeah, it was.
Dude. God damn it.
Top, bottom, whatever kind of ramen you want.
God damn it.
You're going to love Scotty. He's going to love you. He's going to love you.
Yeah, but I don't hate Japanese people. Let's just get that straight. I just like calling them Japs.
Oh,
I just love it. What's so wrong about that? I just want to slap him around a little bit. Is that so ridiculous?
No, not at all.
It's an American tradition.
Superman
Ask Scotty about slapping Japs. Where, though?
Hey, Kinsey.
Hey, Kinsey, are you hard? Are you a freak? Are you a freak, Kinsey?
How hard are you?
I felt a twitch.
This is a 4.
What scale?
Hose or pole, dude?
It was a hose, now it's a pole.
Who let these kids in here?
Oh, my God.
They can think for themselves.
Them find their own way out. Make choices they want to make.
That's right.
That's the story of Scotty Bowers.
That's a great story.
Wow.
I cannot believe I've never heard of it.
No,
dude,
it's another one.
I've read about Cary Grant, and I've never heard of Scotty Bowers.
He really kept his fucking mouth shut, man.
Yeah, he did. Well,
he did, and then and then he just drops it all, and he's just kind of like, "Yo, this is what it is," and he had like a profession that wasn't a profession. It was like a goodwill system.
Yeah.
It was like, you're going to do me a favor, I'm going to do you a favor. Like, there was really no money. He's like, he talks to, like I said, some of the guys that turn tricks on his recommendation, and he's like, he never took $1 from me, ever.
I think
he just hooked everybody up, and he just wanted to keep everybody.
He's a connector.
Yeah.
I think some of it is that like a place like Hollywood doesn't want to have to. They don't want to have to admit that because there's so many people doing scumbaggy things. They think they will be outed, even though what Scotty, everything he's talking about, there's no scumbaggery with it, but there's so many people doing shit that they don't want people to think that they're part of some insidious.
But it's also a thing that lets you know it's okay because when a thing is hidden, you can prey upon it.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Then when you don't, it lets the other person know. Yeah, why would
they don't have that power?
Why
over you,
would I take advantage of you for doing something that's fine?
Yeah,
and that's where he was coming from. He's like, I do it. What
I'm just helping you do it.
Yeah, and
I got the GI Bill.
It's kind of a pain in my balls. Like,
that pisses
me
off.
To drain them.
On the documentary, one of the huge 90th birthday cakes is a gigantic dick and balls. Right?
What's on the inside?
That they wheel
smaller
out.
Smaller dick and balls.
The 91st birthday is a pair of tits and a telephone. Because he did everything with the phone. Isn't that amazing?
Still, must have a sense of humor.
And the thing was, because everybody was, trying to catch you, he never wrote anything down.
Right.
Every number was in his head.
No way.
Wow.
No black book.
Nice.
Just fucking...
Got it up here.
Everything's in the head. Everything's in the dome.
Nice. Well, there were no area codes then, so... Less numbers. Less people.
Right. Yeah, you're right. It's not impressive at all. You've done better.
No. Shit.
But
it is fucked up that I've never heard whispers of this. I've never heard any inkling of this at all.
Like when books like Hollywood Babylon came out, there's rumors about this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then when it comes out, you're like, what the fuck? It's like super wholesome. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
it's not fucking...
It's not depraved and debauched.
Bullshit. They're doing it at a gas station in broad daylight.
And everybody wants to be there.
Right, yeah.
But meanwhile, all the people doing the depraved shit,
they're the ones, one, you hear about, and two, they're the ones doing it in crazy basements or in Virgin Islands.
Yeah. Yeah. He talks about setting up J. Edgar Hoover, and he's like, he wasn't a looker or anything.
No.
He's like,
talker.
Still helped him out.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
And I can't believe, talk about the guy, getting leverage on the guy who's got leverage on everybody.
Yeah. That's what the Mafia did. The Mafia were able to coast by with him just going after bank robbers for the longest time because he wouldn't even admit to the existence of it because they had film and dirt on him.
Of him getting in ladies' dresses.
And fucking dudes and shit like that. So that's why the Mafia was able to flourish for a very, very long time because of one individual, J.
And that's why you have to admit that it's fucking fine.
Yeah.
Because your whole all this power is based off of a thing that is fine.
Right. Nobody's blackmailing Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Smoke 7-gram rocks, fuck hookers, and
but this is part of the thing.
What are you gonna do?
I stole a can of tuna fish.
I was kind of coming from a similar perspective when I began watching the HBO documentary I think I've told you about, where it's about the bloggers that were outing gay Republicans.
Right.
And I was like, when I first heard about that, I was like, before I watched the documentary, I was like, oh fuck, that's not really cool. Like, even if they're Republicans, man, that's kind of like an individual's decision.
If you're gonna make your whole fucking basis of your whole political career,
because of the self-hatred and the self-loathing, they go after fucking AIDS people. Yeah. They go after gay people. Like, the minute they get outed, their voting records would turn around. Yeah. And that's why they were doing it, because they were like...
they would also lose their position.
Right.
Right, but in
the Republican Party, they could have become a fucking Democrat.
But these guys would always be like the hardest on gays. The gays were...
Of course, that's how it always is.
I get it, but they're not the biggest voting bloc, right? So, like, these people that are in the, like you said, middle America... They are having to do what Hollywood was doing, which is put forth this image to the people who are voting / buying tickets, because they are a big block, and they are putting on a show just as much as Rock Hudson was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because if you are a gay politician, or you were, you're not going to get reelected.
Well, but the thing is, it's more about how the persecutorial nature is.
Oh, yes, it's doubling down. I can't be gay. Look how horrible I'm treating you.
How hard, was J. Edgar Hoover going against communists because he just didn't want anybody to know he was gay.
Yes.
Absolutely. So it's like, that was why I was like, when I really turned around on the whole thing and like, these guys, I mean, they're the meanest about gay laws, the ones that are closeted.
Yes.
And it's so it's just like, then I was like, yeah, I think it's fine to out people like let's just all get real.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny what today, the day we're recording this, Steve King from Iowa, he made a comment today that if it wasn't for rape and incest, we wouldn't have survived as humans.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a terrible thing, but at least he's fucking honest about it. If you're gonna vote for this guy, then you are fine with rape and incest.
Yeah.
And all right, well, at least he's on it. I appreciate the honesty. Bad take, but at least he's honest about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that, I can't be sure that there isn't somebody who was a product of that in my family.
That's why he thinks abortion is bad, because rape and incest have kept the humans...
Where would we be?
Yeah.
Where would we be if
it's
some...
Where would we be? In some super dignified society?
Yeah, exactly.
There were women who didn't want to have children because of horrible things that happened to them, didn't have to have them.
Oh, wow.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's, he's putting it out there.
At least he's talking about it, I guess.
He's doing the Whitney, Wisconsin thing. Fuck dogs. Get over it.
Fucking be honest about whatever your perversion is, and we'll fucking figure it out.
If fucking more women fuck dogs, we wouldn't have to have so many abortions. Huh?
Are the dogs related?
We also wouldn't have so many dogs. We would solve the pet crisis.
You wouldn't have to spare or neuter your pets. Because they'd be coming in Whitney, Wisconsin.
Oh my God.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Not wrong.
Oh God.
It's not wrong should be her shirt.
It's not wrong.
Wait, did you say her shirt?
She should have a shirt that says "It's not wrong," but with KNOT. Nodding is when a dog's dick inflates like a balloon inside a vagina, so it can't come out.
Oh, right.
It's a bestiality term.
Oh.
Yeah,
this has been a really informative episode.
Yeah, you better not mention that again.
And you can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot.
He's not. I'm not.
There's no way Scotty does not want an interview with us.
Oh yeah.
Listen, man, you're a real hero.
Yeah, Scott. Honestly, he is
in more ways than one. I would love to.
Yeah, really. This is
real shit.
This is real heroism.
Yes.
Fuck, dude. Like, he just did the right thing, like his whole life.
Yeah.
It's
kind
of insane.
Especially sucking off those priests, huh?
Well, what he did is he kept the other kids in town
he kept them getting raped.
Yeah. He saved a whole town.
Yeah,
right.
That's true. Yeah. No, don't leave him alone. We'll have Scotty come around in a bit.
Yeah.
Throw some nickels at him.
We don't have to relocate these priests,
They're all driving there.
Put Benedict out of business. Ratzinger.
Yeah,
no,
man.
we gotta track down Scott. Listen, we can fucking go to his house.
Kind of. I don't want to.
I'm happy to interview him at his place.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
If we can find a place to sit.
I'll stand.
Some old ammo cans.
He's got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I hear. Yeah.
But
he's had a long life.
Yeah, I'd love to get him. I told Rachel too. She's like, if you get him, I gotta come. And I was like, yeah, Rachel can come because she's the one that got me hip to the story. And
excellent.
It is.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel. It was absolutely incredible. I was completely blown away. It's just so cool. It's so weird. It's very brave.
Yeah.
Very selfless.
And he's a bat. He said, I'm fucking everybody. I'm having threesomes with Ava Gardner and what?
Fucking that. Yeah.
Pool parties. Jerking
Lana
off.
Turner. Ava Gardner.
How is his?
At Sinatra's house. What?
He's got rooms for that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and doing it back then is so novel because now, teenage.
Riley Reid had a threesome with Logan Paul and his fucking girlfriend or some shit.
Really?
Yeah. According to whatever they posted on Twitter, it's been done.
That idiot.
Yeah.
Who did?
Riley Reid.
Had a threesome with who?
Logan Paul and his internet girlfriend or whatever the fuck's going on.
They paid her or something, right?
Yeah, of course.
Ah.
Yeah, he sucks. Yeah, you suck, dude.
I don't know who it is.
Good. That's how bad you suck, dude. He doesn't know who you are.
Do I know who it is? I don't
No.
know.
Don't
You
worry
might.
about it. He's fucking...
I guess what I was gonna say was that, to be that guy where you're at the fucking fuck party and you're jerking off, whatever, like, to do it back then is kind of, it's super.
And he's like talking to somebody while jacking it too. He's like, I'll tell you another thing. I'm fucking
These
no,
Japs don't know what they're doing. If I never see another. Is that now, like, you people doing, like, every high school kid is it's part of the it's in the social consciousness now where, like, it's a thing to do, and you can seek out
Right, every
to
high
do
school movie, every kid's trying to have a threesome.
Right, but back then, like, hey, there's a fucking party at this guy's house, and, like, I don't know, it's
Well, I mean, yeah, everything
it's
is
a
like
little more trailblazing, I suppose.
Well, the thing, but also it's also more normalizing too, because it's like, hey, we're not supposed to be doing any of this shit.
Right.
Hey, what if we all fucked?
Yeah. Hey,
that'd
everybody,
be nuts.
we're all gonna get laid.
Hey, yeah. It's like, whoa, I only fuck one same-sex person at a time. It's like, get out of here, you fucking square.
Give me 20
you fucking
dicks.
loser.
Yeah. Line him up.
This guy's got 20 dicks in his mouth. He loves it. Look at him.
Give me a Baker's 20.
This chick's blowing a dog later.
This dude, he was given an Oscar.
I was gonna say, did he
Yeah,
get
I
one
was-
to shove
yes.
his butt?
No, he was just like
Lifetime Achievement Award.
bequeathed an Oscar by the cinematographer that did like Kramer versus Kramer and the Blue Lagoon and like this guy
That's great.
yeah
he earned it.
he just
There
He
you go.
kept Hollywood together.
people just loved him and they were just
You're gonna want to wipe that thing off before you use it.
yeah he was given Nestor was the guy's last name but yeah he just bequeathed his Oscar to him like here you go dude like he just
Well, you
made-
never know. Like, oh man,
How many lives were made so much easier by this one dude?
Yeah.
Especially when you're rich and famous.
Yeah,
And he doesn't want any money?
yeah.
Then you're just like, oh, fuck, man. That's just like a real solid dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm rich and I'm gay, and you could exploit me for just one or two. You know what I mean? And you're not doing it. So, like,
He's just got a different currency he's operating with, right? Like it's a.
Happiness.
it really is
Yeah, I mean,
super happiness based.
You know who was kind of? I mean, Alan Watts was one of those dudes. Like, yeah, he taught, but he just hung around like the Grateful. The Grateful Dead just kept him around because he was fucking super woke and on the ball, and they're like, yeah, you don't have to worry about anything. Like, yeah, just come. You're with us.
Yeah.
And like when you have that kind of social capital, you end up not having to pay for a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Because
Currency is charisma.
Yeah, the currency is charisma
And the currency
kindness,
is kindness. Yeah.
and cock and cum and
Yeah.
balls. That was a good one, John.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a tasty?
Wasn't
Yeah,
that a
it
good
is
one,
tasty.
Matt?
Oh, yeah.
And he is a handsome guy. We'll put pictures on the.
God, he's a good looking son
Yeah,
of
he's
a
a
bitch.
good looking dude.
I mean,
Good-
like, even as a fucking 90-year-old man, you can still see how he's like,
Yeah.
he still retains like this
The
just
hungness.
bright, happy face. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't see any of the.
Well, not yet.
Didn't see
I thought
any
you
of
saw
the,
that 16mm film.
Well, it's kind of blurred out.
There's
because
a whole
it's,
mouth around it.
documentary on Canopy. You know what I mean?
Oh.
But I mean, you can kind of make it out. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
right.
Yeah, we'll find it on X Hamster.
Former hamsters.
They're mutant hamsters, dude.
I identify as a guinea pig. Thanks.
Pig.
Toad.
Italian American pig.
I think we're gonna call it there.
All right.
That was great.
That was great, John.
God, I love you boys, huh?
Ah,
Isn't this a fun time?
This is a
it's
great
really
time.
good. This is what we do,
This is what we do.
This is nice.
And it's so fun.
and it's great. And everybody gets to participate. In
Everybody gets to taste it.
and not
and
waste
not
let us
waste it.
not waste it.
Yeah. Oh. Let
Scotty?
us not waste it.
Nay, let us taste it. From the book Porno Samurai Killer, verse 3, chapter 2.
Father, son, porno samurai killer.
Right in between Comfort Tsunami 1 and 2.
God flooded the planet with a comfort tsunami,
And there was much rejoicing.
and his people tested him. I'm going to say goodnight there. My name is John Fahey.
My name is Aaron Pita.
Matt Brousseau.
Good night, everybody. We love you.
Scarpins Avenue.